Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
Hey guys, Metal Matt back again for Metal Stream Radio. This is the Metal Matt Show! And we're going to be here for 2 hours screaming heavy metal, but more listening than screaming, and talk. And I got cool interviews. I've always got some cool special guests on here, different rock stars you'll know, and I always try and keep it interesting. So, this week is no different. I got some great music. We're going to have a bit of an Ozzy Osbourne kind of special this week. Ozzy, Sabbath, lots of music from Ozzy and Sabbath, and some other bands, and some great artists, which I think you'll know. And if you don't, you're gonna love it. Really cool stuff. So great to be here with you. I don't know what week I'm on now. I've been doing this show for weeks now. I'm so happy to do it. And I'll be doing it long into the future. So it's great to be here with you all, providing some heavy metal. There's not enough of it. You turn on the TV, you don't see any heavy metal. You turn on the radio, it's usually pop music. But here on Metal Stream Radio, you can guess what we're playing. There's a lot of heavy metal all week long. So be sure to tune in whenever you can, because there's always something cool playing on Metal Stream Radio. And you can catch me every Friday and Saturday. So, I'm always here. Check out my social medias, Metal Matt, for all the times. I always put up the times my shows are going out. And we're just here to rock together. So, I've got a lot to speak about this week. I've had some cool things recently. I did an interview just a few days ago with a pop artist, actually, but he's got a bit of a connection to Metallica. It's the singer of Bronski Beat, and it's not the bold guy with the high voice. It's another singer who had a big hit with Bronski Beat, called John Foster, or John Foster as he likes to be known. But the other singer is Jimmy Somerville. That name may ring a bell, but John Foster's known for Hit That Perfect Beat. And there was a video of Bronski Beat. No, I'm getting that wrong. There's a video of Metallica dancing to Bronski Beat, dancing to his song, Hit That Perfect Beat. And I asked him during the interview, did you ever see that video? And he had a cool answer. So I'm going to get to that a bit later. I'm going to show you what he thought of I got a recording of what he thought about Metallica dancing to his song. It's quite a popular 80s high-energy synth pop, typical kind of 80s synth pop song, but very unique. It's a great song. I love it. Very high energy and something a bit different to what you'd think Metallica would be dancing to, So it's quite funny, and it's quite an exclusive, because I don't believe anyone else has actually talked to him about that at all. So that was quite unique, really. But first off, though, I thought I'd get into some metal news, and I've searched up some various websites for metal news just to tell you what's going on, because I know we all like to be kept in the loop of heavy metal, and you guys can go and search up the stories and find out a bit more. But apparently the Cavalera brothers, they've got a new single, Pile Driver, so that'd be worth checking out. It's all about Street Fighter 6. It says, also Korn, Spirit Box, and 7 Hours After Violet announced Latin American tour, so that's cool. Any Korn fans will be very impressed with that. What else have we got here? This black metal band claims to be from North Korea. You'll have to search that up. That's a bit of a unique story, that one. Trivium's Paolo Gregoletto on Alex Bent's departure. No Cradle of Filth style drama. Obviously, he's referencing Cradle of Filth recently had a big drama. A couple of members left. But I haven't heard much about it since. It was all the rage a few weeks ago. Quite a big story. But now it seems to have calmed down on the Cradle of Filth front. I think they're just powering on with new songs, And I'm going to be honest, I've never heard of this band, and I'm going to have trouble pronouncing it, but this is another story now. Sanguisuga Abog released new record, Hideous Aftermath. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, well, I don't either, so maybe search up Hideous Aftermath and you'll find out a bit more. But that's a bit of metal news for you. I'll keep you updated if I read any other stories, because I'm sure there will be some other stories somewhere on the metal sphere. I'm just searching up different things to see what I can find. But yeah, as I told you, I had a cool little thing from Bronxley Beat's John Foster talking about Metallica. So that's what I'm going to get into next for you guys who are interested. And then we're getting some cool music. We got some cool music actually from KK Downing of Judas Priest. But something else, something away from Judas Priest he did recently, which is really cool. So we'll dive into that in a minute. But right now, let's hear what John Foster had to say. Here for Metal Stream Radio, of course.
Hey, this is Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
Big boy, hit that perfect big boy. Big boy, hit that perfect big boy.
Right, I'm back now with John Foster. Metal
Yeah, rock and roll, everyone.
big heavy metal.
Metallica.
Right, well, I'm joining you from outer space now, and
Very cool.
to talk to you a bit about Metallica. Did you ever see the video of them dancing to Hit That Perfect Beat?
Beat that fucking meat, boy. Beat that fucking meat, boy. Beat your fucking feeling. That perfect feeling. That perfect feeling. That perfect feeling.
I did. And there was a link, somebody had set up a link, so when you pressed on it, you went straight to Hit That Perfect Beat. Did you have that same experience?
I know that sometimes it automatically detects the song and you can find it like in the corner, so maybe...
Oh, right. Oh, it must just be me then.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've seen it lots of times. It pops up. Yeah, I know it introduced a lot of Metallica fans to that song as well, which is quite a unique thing.
Yeah, it's quite weird, isn't it?
What did you make of it? What did you think when you first saw it?
Well, I just thought, cool, what a brilliant song I've written.
Yeah.
You know, to have a band like that singing it.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, you know, over the years, it's there's been a lot of remixes. So I mean, a hell of a lot. I've got a few that have my mate has done, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
And you know, there was a heavy metal band that did a cover of Hit That Perfect Beat.
I've seen that.
Have you seen it? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think who they are, but yeah, I
No,
don't. They're
I
not
can't
like
think.
a main known band, are they? But they're.
No. I think they're German, actually.
And there we have it. There's John Foster of Bronxley Beat talking about Metallica with me. And yeah, you can see he was quite happy to see them dancing to his song. And like he said, it is a great song. I think a lot of you who were around in the 80s will remember it. It was a big club kind of hit, you know. It was, I think, went up to number 3 in one of the charts things. So yeah, very popular song, and I discovered it. I'm a different era, but I've always loved my older music, you know, so it was a song I found when I was a kid, and yeah, I loved it ever since. And I've obviously collaborated myself with John Foster a few times, and yeah, we did a song called Future together, and he did some backing vocals on my song Mexico, which is quite a popular one, and also we did a weird kind of obscure track called Nightmare, which is like gothic kind of vibe, acoustic, so that was very cool. And he mentions a band there who did a heavy metal version of Hit That Perfect Beat. That group was called 9 Seconds. I don't think it's strictly a heavy metal version, but it's got a bit of a heavy metal vibe, and yeah, it's kind of that kind of vibe kind of thing. So yeah, if you want to check out that's out there on YouTube and things. 9 Seconds they're called, with a Hit That Perfect Beat Bronxley Beat cover. Yeah, it's very cool. I recommend you checking it out. But right now it's time for some music, don't you think? So without any further ado, I'm gonna play you a great song, which is from actually the early Judas Priest, the earliest, in fact, Judas Priest record and release, Rock-a-Roller. But this is a remake which KK recently did of one of the songs, Never Satisfied. And he's got Tim Ripper Owens. Obviously he sang with Judas Priest for a period in the 90s, and he's currently with KK's Priest. KK's kind of off-branch band, doing his own kind of music, and also he plays some Judas Priest songs as well when they play live and stuff. Yeah, great band, KK's Priest. But this is away from KK's Priest. I believe this is just a separate project with Ripper on vocals of a very classic, a very early Judas Priest song, which actually had Alan Atkins on the original. I think he in fact wrote the song, the very original. I don't think they released it, but he did write. I believe he was the primary songwriter of this song. I'm not sure if any of the others were involved, but yeah, I believe he was the primary songwriter. So yeah, Priest also performed this song after a lot of years of not playing it at the Epitaph tour, which I actually caught in Hammersmith Apollo in London. The film, which you'll see on DVD, was filmed at that show. I was there. Fantastic. Rob performed Never Satisfied. It's really classic, kind of bluesy kind of riffs, very kind of slow. And this is another cool version, like I say, which KK's done recently. Bit more metal, I'd say. They've metaled it up a bit more. And obviously Ripper, when it comes to metal, he is the metal voice, you know. He's he doesn't really do much else. It's all metal, full-on metal with Ripper. Rob and Ripper, I've always thought, got quite different voices. Ripper can hit those high notes. Rob's got kind of sides to his voice which are more kind of beautiful in some ways, you know, kind of nice, clean, melodic, kind of ballady voice, and almost pop-like in certain circumstances, maybe on some of the songs on Screaming for Vengeance, for instance. But he could do a lot of things, Rob. And Ripper I associate with just full-on metal screaming, very full-on, gritty, heavy voice, you know, is a very metal voice. He's someone I don't think would suit pop at all in any capacity, but for metal, he can sort of adapt his voice to anything. Dio, which he's done the Dio Disciples in the past, and he sang loads of stuff. King Diamond, he's got a fantastic performance of Abigail, which is out there on YouTube and things as well. So yeah, very versatile vocalist, Ripper and Rob, but it's great to hear Ripper on this one, and this is, like I say, Never Satisfied, the new version.
Go from here. There must be
that's an amazing version and Never Satisfied there. Great scream at the end there. Lots of nice shredding kind of wails by KK. You know, what he's known for with that kind of improvised, kind of really soulful play. And I love that about KK, just he's such a kind of, you know, a feeler of the music. He's not just someone who's kind of playing to the book, you know. He's very unique and versatile, and he can kind of improvise these most beautiful little sounds, you know. He knows how to use that guitar well. I always call him the Hendrix of heavy metal. So yeah, wonderful version and Never Satisfied there. Yeah, great to see it being given, you know, some metal treatment there. Definitely a heavier version than the original. And yeah, Rock'n'Roller was quite a kind of quintessential kind of album, I guess, for the beginning of heavy metal. I think Sad Wings of Destiny kind of had a more emphasis on that, you know, the second album by Judas Priest, but Rock'n'Roller was kind of a good segue from bluesy rock to something a bit heavier, and Rob kind of was starting to find his scream on songs like Run of the Mill and things like that, which obviously become very iconic, you know. And yeah, Ripper sure does a great job at kind of doing those Holford-esque kind of screams, but in his own kind of way. So yeah, very impressed with that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sure that's out there on all the platforms, so, you know, be sure to check it all out. I've got some cool things coming up myself here in Mexico. Obviously, going by my voice, you probably realise I'm not Mexican, but I'm British, and yeah, I live out in Mexico these days, and I've got a gig coming up, which I've been asked to do because I've kind of been in the area kind of networking and stuff, and yeah, people have kind of discovered that I've got a metal voice, you know. I love singing heavy metal and old school kind of stuff, so I was asked to sing a Black Sabbath tribute, and I did that back a couple of months ago now, a Marilyn Manson and Black Sabbath tribute, which then turned into a Dio and Sabbath tribute, and now I'm back being invited to do an OZZY tribute, which is very cool. And it's kind of Ozzy and Sabbath, but the Ozzy Sabbath, you know. So yeah, it's a pretty Ozzy show, which really isn't my strong point exactly. I've always said Ozzy has such a unique voice that I don't really know why anyone bothers to kind of try and do it, because it's you know, it's so unique, his voice. But still, I have fun doing it, and I kind of enjoy flying the flag for British heavy metal, being a British guy. And I know that all around the world, and Mexico particularly, love that kind of music. So it's great to kind of represent that over here and be able to do a show. So I'm really looking forward to doing this show. It's going to be really exciting. And it's not too long, actually. Not too long. I think it's like a week. Trying to think of the exact date. Maybe 2 weeks until the show. So I got some rehearsing and practicing to do. But yeah, it's coming up, and yeah, it's songs I've done before, so it's not too bad, but there's a few new ones. In fact, I was asked what song would I like to add, because we had all the songs, and then they said we can probably add 2 more, you decide. So I decided Dreamer by Ozzy and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, because I think it's a great song, and I love that album, you know, it's a fantastic album. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to being able to sing that one, because I've sang a lot of songs which I didn't really have much of a say on the other shows, so this one's good to have a couple of songs I love to be added to the list. So yeah, on that note, going to be an Ozzy kind of special, because I'm wanting to listen to these songs a lot as well before I perform, and we can listen to them together because they're all great songs. So yeah, let's get into a bit of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, a classic, and yeah, enjoy, guys.
The end begins to show.
There we have it with a bit of Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. That's going to be a fun song to sing. Very high vocal by OZZY there. He had a very unique voice, you know, his tone was kind of very high, and, you know, he kind of pushed his voice to the fullest, you know, to the highest point, really. He, yeah, without breaking into any real kind of falsettos or anything like that, he kind of just pushed his voice very upwards, you know, which is cool, you know. Bruce Dickinson also kind of does that. You know, that very high tone. So yeah, talking of high tones, we're going to listen to a bit of Fight next. This is a band Rob Halford formed in the 90s, mainly American band members. You know, Rob was the only British one, I believe, and yeah, it consisted of Rob, JJ Brown on bass and kind of backing vocals, Russ Parrish on guitar. You had Scott Travis on drums, and I always forget the other guy's name, which is unfortunate. But yeah, there's one other guitarist as well, which I've had a few Belgian beers tonight, so my brain isn't braining tonight. I can't think of his name, but for some reason it's always this Brian Tilse. There you go, it's come to me now. Brian Tilse is the other guitarist. And yeah, they're all great members, great band, you know, very heavy. Rob was kind of showcasing a different side of his kind of voice and also his sound, you know, and his lyrics, kind of showing what he was all about with this Fight band. They only lasted a couple of years, but they created some great stuff. The War of Words is very synonymous. That was the first album, you know, and the second one was Small Deadly Space, but I think War of Words had a better reception, and yeah, it was a fantastic album. Yeah, I really love it, and I've been lucky enough to perform one of the songs, Into the Pit, with Russ Parrish when Steel Panther come to town. I performed it with them, and that was great. And also JJ Brown has been on a few of my songs. We did a collaboration of Devil's Child, a Judas Priest cover. That was great. That was with his friend Bob Tyrell. They're both tattoo artists as well, very talented guys. But yeah, we did a great version of Devil's Child. That was really fun. And also JJ did some backing vocals on my song Devil in Disguise, and that was great. And we've actually got something else up our sleeve coming soon, a Fight cover. But I won't let you know which song just yet. But yeah, it's a very popular Fight song, and it'll be out soon. We're just finishing it up now. Very exciting to be actually performing a Fight song with JJ. So very excited for that. But this is a song off the Demos album. It was a K5 Fight War of Words Demos release, which I actually loved more than the main War of Words release. I think the sound is much better than the actual War of Words release. I love the raw kind of sound, and it's very, to me it sounds very high quality, you know, remastered or whatever, but very raw. But I just love the sound quality. Into the Pit and things like that just sound great on this Demos release. Really, really good. The vocals are really up there, and the guitars are just so in your face. And this is another great song, like I say, called Dead Men Talk, off of the Demos album.
Dead Men Talk. 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 You try to throw away the key. You try to bury all the truth. Dead man talk. 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 You try to cover up with lies by turning fiction into fact. You try to cover up with lies by turning fiction into fact. Dead man talk. 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 Dead man talk.
Wow, what a song. That's great track off the Demos album there. You hear a real variation of Rob's voice, kind of that screamy, kind of piercing voice, but also kind of his lower voice, and it's very powerful, kind of. That's what Fight were all about, really, the power, the raw energy. I just love it. I love the music Rob made with Fight. I think some of the best work he's done, really. Definitely the best solo work he's done. The Holford Band did some great stuff too. Obviously, he had the band 2 as well, which wasn't as successful, but I think Fight, brilliant. I love that stuff. Holford, very good. But Fight really stands out for me for the solo work of Holford, you know. I think he really shined, really, and it was a cool kind of way to see him. It was different to Priest, but still that voice, that kind of powerful voice and the high notes was all there. And a great band, really phenomenal band, and a lot younger than Rob at the time, so they had that kind of energy, and it was a time when bands like Pantera were coming on the scene, so it's that same kind of energy, you know. And yeah, talking of kind of heavy albums, an album I love as well is Alice Cooper, Brutal Planet. That's an album which really kind of did it for me. I used to listen to that so much growing up, and Dragontown, so many great tracks. and very heavy for Alice. It's kind of a heavy metal album, and Alice isn't really heavy metal all the time, you know. He's kind of played around with it with Kane Roberts as well. Raise Your Fist and Yell is a very heavy album, but this is next level heavy, and yeah, I love it. I love the story as well. I love, it's kind of about hell on earth, you know, kind of vibe, you know, brutal planet. It's a very dark album, but it kind of shines a light on a lot of the evil going on in the world, and it's that dark character which Alice is so, you know, known for by now, you know. But yeah, it's truly Alice in character. I'd say it's such a great performance and great lyrics, and yeah, I love it. And this song now that I'm going to play, you know, will completely demonstrate that. If you take a listen to the lyrics, you know, you'll really get what he's talking about. You know, I think there's references to the Rwandan genocide and all sorts of things, and yeah, he's very clever lyrically, Alice. That's what I love about him. And yeah, the song itself is brilliant. Great vocals, great guitar work. Take a listen. This is Eat Some More.
'Cause
bit of Eat Some More of the Brutal Planet album by Alice Cooper. Great album. I heard him do Brutal Planet live, but not that tour, but he performed Brutal Planet and Wicked Young Man. Seen Alice a few times. I've been lucky enough. He was actually my first concert when I was very young, which was really cool. It was in Bristol, Colston Hall, although they've renamed it now as, Bristol Beacon now, because of all the slave trade association. You may have seen the people who threw the statue into the water. That was all in Bristol and stuff. Colston guy statue thing. So yeah, they renamed everything. They didn't want anything to do with him in Bristol, so they changed the name of the Colston Hall, which was a very well-known venue, you know. But at the time when I saw Alice, it was still called that anyway. But yeah, it was a great show. I was up front, and Alice was like looking at me in the eyes, and it was just crazy, really intensely, like singing. He really kind of associates with the front row, you know. He kind of really gives the front row and the front couple of rows a real intimate performance. He looks at you in the eyes and points at you and all sorts of things. And as a kid, you know, I loved Alice all my life, and my dad used to play it all the time. It was the main thing I heard growing up, you know. Being my first concert, Alice was amazing, and we went as a family as well, and it was just crazy. And yeah, just seeing Alice up front like that was the best experience ever, really. It was such a great show. Steve Hunter was on guitar as well, he wasn't in the band very much, but yeah, he come back to the band. I think he played on the $1 Billion Babies album a lot, and yeah, he did a lot of playing on the classic Alice album, so it was great to see him. He was on guitar with Orianthi, who played with Michael Jackson before he died as well, a female guitarist. And now it's slightly different members, but still Tommy Henriksen, he was in the band when I saw them, and Glenn Sobel on drums. But yeah, a few different members now. Nita Strauss, she was from the Iron Maidens, I believe, and yeah, she's playing now, and Orianthi's doing completely different stuff now. She's always been quite a bluesy guitarist, I think, so she's kind of doing that kind of stuff. She does a lot of her own solo work. She's worked with a lot of people. She's quite versatile. She's not just metal or even metal, really. She isn't really a metal guitarist, so I'm surprised she ended up with Alice, but she was a great guitarist. She's Australian, and yeah, she was great. It was great to see her. I saw her a couple of times. Saw Alice again in Cardiff, actually, a few years later at the Motorpoint Arena, but it was actually a seated gig, which was very strange, because you don't really want to be seated for Alice. Although it is like a theatre show, Alice really does put on a show. Really, it's best to be just up front. And being a kid, I was still pretty young then. I did walk down. I was at the side of the stage, kind of right up on the side, and I walked down to the front, and I had my Canon camera, and I was taking pictures. And yeah, the security were cool with it. They didn't say anything, so I was just taking pictures from the side, taking a few pictures. And I did kind of walk right up to the stage, which was pretty damn cool, actually. It was great. They let me go near the stage, you know, and didn't say anything, so that was lucky. Was at the first gig, I remember I brought my camera, and they took the lens off it, because it was a removable lens camera. They like took the lens off the security. They wouldn't let me take any photos, but to be fair, I don't care, because I just wanted to enjoy the show, you know. But I was getting into photography at that age, and I got quite big into that, so I just wanted to get some cool shots. But I didn't get any at the Bristol show, but I did at the Cardiff show. I was the only one stood at the side, really. The rest of the audience were kind of seated. I was stood at the side, taking some pictures, got some great shots of Orianthi and even Alice. Although I didn't remember him kind of looking at me at that show, really. Although thinking back, you know, I definitely could have got his attention, because I was the only person stood up, really. You know, everyone was seated apart from the security. But yeah, it was great though. Duff McKagan of Guns N' Roses, he was supporting with his band. He was the support act along with Ugly Kid Joe. And I waited before to see who I could meet, and I did meet Duff. I got a photo with Duff. He signed my guitar. I remember I brought my electric guitar to get signed, and I got it signed by Duff. I'm trying to think who else signed it. I think Orianthi signed it, and they all signed it in a silver pen, and to my disappointment, the autographs just come straight off it. I never even used the guitar, but it didn't stay on. It was a Sharpie, silver Sharpie. I thought it was supposed to be permanent, but obviously not a good idea to get guitars signed. The autographs completely come off that guitar, so it was a complete waste of time getting it signed. But I do remember Duff saying, "Oh, nice guitar," because I stuck a load of stickers on it of little albums I liked, like Judas Priest albums. There was a magazine had all these little pictures of the albums. I remember cutting them all out and sticking them on my guitar. I was only a kid, really. I was probably, I don't know, 15, I don't know. I was sticking them all on my guitar, which I wouldn't do these days. But, I decorated the guitar, and he liked it. Duff said, "Oh, nice guitar, man," kind of thing, which was very cool. He was a cool guy. I remember he was holding like a perfume or something. He'd obviously been shopping, he was great. I wish I could have met Alice, but he's very hard to meet. I remember after the Bristol show, I saw him just running on the coach and making a sandwich. You could see him making a sandwich, which was quite funny. No bologna sandwiches. So that was funny. But I wish he'd come and met a few people, but Alice typically doesn't. You can catch him sometimes if you see him around the town, but you'll never meet him before or after a show. That's just not how he rolls. So but that's like many artists. But his band are very easy to meet. Ryan Roxy, he's in the band these days. He's great. I think he played on that Brutal Planet album, which I love, as well as the Fistful of Alice album, which was a live album recorded in Cabo San Lucas. It was called Alice Cooper Live at Cabo Wabo. Fistful of Alice was the album, and Ryan played on that. I did interview him a while back and chatted about that. He's a cool guy, Ryan. I even sang a bit of Only Women Bleed. You can find that on my YouTube channel, where I was singing a bit with him as well. He pulled out the guitar, so I thought I'll sing along. It was good fun. Not every day you get to sing with one of Alice's guitarists, so it was very cool. I should have some more interviews coming up soon. Keep your eyes peeled, guys. Always on the lookout for some more special guests. We've had Doug Aldrich on in the past, Kane Roberts, Ryan Roxy, like I mentioned. A ton of people. So keep listening, Metal Stream Radio. I'm always bringing some cool guests on, and this week is more just me chatting away about my favourite metal and telling you a bit about the stuff I love, but also, like I say, we've got a bit of a Sabbath special, and you'll certainly be hearing that in the next hour now. We're going to be listening to a lot of OZZY and Black Sabbath. Obviously OZZY passed away recently, which we all know by now, and it's just such a loss. We loved OZZY, we all loved OZZY, everyone loved OZZY. Such a loss not having him about anymore, but his music lives on, and you kind of realise how important he was. Now that he's gone, you think, wow, he really was a character and a kind of big part of metal and rock, and just someone you just instantly associate with that kind of dark kind of music. Although really he was a sweetheart. I think he wasn't a big scary guy, really. He was a very funny, down to earth, and quite happy guy, I think, for the most part. For anyone who's seen the Osbournes and things like that, but his image obviously was the Prince of Darkness, and with Sabbath, very dark kind of music, I think, for the most part. His own music, a bit more light-hearted, maybe, still very kind of rocky, heavy stuff, but a bit more melodic, a bit more upbeat for a lot of it. Obviously John Lennon was a big influence on him, and I'm going to play a song now which was influenced by John Lennon. I think it was his way of kind of writing a song in a similar kind of way of John Lennon, with a similar message to what John would say, kind of an Imagine kind of vibe, but really unique and really beautiful song, which I decided I'm going to sing at this tribute show coming up here in Cancun at the Route 666 bar. So looking forward to that. This is a song I've got a gem up on as well. I mean, it's one of my favourite songs, but I still need to listen to it a good few times. There's one thing knowing it, and another thing knowing it with a band and how they're going to play it and different things. So it's going to do me good listening to this with you, because I need to get these in my head a lot before the gig, lots more Sabbath to come now, and we're going to start off now with a bit of Dreamer.
Gazing through the window at the world outside, stop abusing her sometime. After all, there's only just the two of us, and here we are still fighting for our lives, watching all of history repeat itself time after time. I'm just a dreamer, I dream my life away. I'm just a dreamer who dreams of better days. I watch the sun go down like every one of us. I'm hoping that the dawn will bring a sign, a better place for those who will come after us this time. I'm just a dreamer, I dream my life away. Oh yeah, I'm just a dreamer who dreams of better days. Your higher power may be God or Jesus Christ. It doesn't really matter much to me. Without each other's help, there ain't no hope for us. I'm living in a dream of fantasy. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. If only we could all just find serenity. It would be nice if we could live as one. When will all this anger, hate, and bigotry be gone? I'm just a dreamer, I dream my life away. Today, I'm just a dreamer who dreams of better days. Okay, I'm just a dreamer who's searching for the way. Today, I'm just a dreamer, dreaming my life away. Oh yeah,
There we go. What a beautiful song. I love when heavy metal artists can show kind of a softer side and, you know, show some versatility, really. It's funny how some people are kind of metal elitists. They don't want to hear anything kind of that isn't heavy. It's got to be heavy metal all the time. But I think for me, heavy metal represents something that's bigger than that. It's not a limited genre, you know. You can have kind of popish, clean elements without it being pop, you know, kind of the stereotype of pop. You know, maybe it's pop heavy metal, popular heavy metal, you know, as pop does just stand for popular, which OZZY sure was. But you know, non-commercial, I guess, is what everyone's aiming for. Heavy metal kind of instinctively should be non-commercial, I think. But there's a lot of exceptions, you know, Metallica, bands like that have sure dropped a lot of songs which have ended up being commercial. Don't know if it was the kind of aim, but it sure ended up that kind of way. But yeah, is anything wrong with that? You know, certain songs become commercially successful, and I think as a whole, you know, the genre represents rebelliousness, you know, rebellion. It represents kind of standing up to the man, sticking it to the man, and kind of, you know, not just sort of falling into a corporate thing of what most commercial music is, where they're told what to do. And you know, I think an OZZY certainly fell into that bracket of being real, and I think that's all that matters, you know. And like I said, there's so many metal elitists who won't see out the box. In fact, I do a range of music. I'm Metal Matt, as you know, but I do a lot of different stuff. I've done some really heavy stuff like Extinction. I recently did Devil in Disguise with JJ, which I mentioned earlier. Changes in You, which is a pretty rocky track kind of thing, and you know, some really heavy stuff as well, but I do kind of softer songs as well, and gothic rock and ballads and all sorts of stuff, like I think a good artist should. You know, you shouldn't be limited by your, you know, label. I hate labels, you know. I may be Metal Matt, but that doesn't mean that's all I'm ever going to do, you know. The name Metal Matt come from Rob Halford, so, you know, can't get any more metal than that. That's why I'm proud to use that name, because Rob gave it to me. But, you know, it doesn't mean I'm not going to branch out and try different things. And, you know, I had a comment earlier from someone who was a total metal elitist. Don't know who they are. One of these trolls, you know, just saying, oh, this song sucks. It's not heavy metal. Try heavy metal next time, Metal Matt, and all this stuff. But then a lot of people like that song. And to me, it was representing me. It was a representation of me in an authentic way, kind of, you know, singing quite true to what my voice actually is in metal and rock. You know, everybody puts on that kind of rock and roll voice, which is good, but it's not always true to what you actually are. It's a good representation of a side of you, but, you know, this was quite a soft kind of ballad and using my natural voice, and I thought, well, I like to do that. It was kind of a tribute to the Smiths and Morrissey. It was kind of in that kind of vibe. It's a song called Let Me Sleep Forever, if anyone's interested. Available everywhere. You can check it out. But yeah, this guy just was like, felt I need to go out his way to say it wasn't metal, which was pretty obvious to me because it wasn't a metal song that I wrote. You know, it wasn't supposed to be metal, and it even said in the title gothic rock. So I don't know how much more self-explanatory it could be, but it just made me laugh because you realise how you know, there's kind of an insecureness to some metal fans where they feel like everything's got to be heavy. They were saying, oh, you look like a poser, it's heavy. It's like, it's one song, you're judging me on one song. You know, the majority of my music is heavy metal. And I kind of made the point that this day and age, artists don't really get paid for what they're doing. It's not like 30 years ago where maybe you'd make some money if the record deals weren't screwing you, the record companies and stuff weren't screwing you over. You might have made some money back then, but now it's like, we're doing this for free for the most part. We're doing it because we love it. You know, musicians aren't making money because nobody is really paying for it. Everyone expects music for free these days. It's very rare people are paid money to the artists they like, yet they feel they should have an opinion on what music they release. I think if anything, this day and age, we're living in a time where people have no right and artists have no obligation really to people please. Obviously a lot will, because, you know, some of them are still under the commercial bracket of trying to make a buck, and if they've got the right people pulling the strings and labels associated with them, they might make a bit of money with maybe tours or something like that. But the average artist who's just releasing songs and stuff like that, you know, most people are just going and listening to their music for free, you know, so nobody can really go and say, oh, you should be doing this kind of music, or you could be doing, you know, why aren't you doing this? It's like, it really is not any of their business. You've got to kind of shut up and enjoy whatever anyone's releasing if you're listening to it for free. That's kind of my view on it. It's you know, you don't really have a right to dictate what people should be doing, you know. So yeah, it's a strange one. It's kind of there's a lot of metal elitists out there who you know, you'll hear the common phrase of, you know, name 3 bands on that t-shirt you're wearing. It's that kind of attitude, you know, and it's kind of like, no one owes anyone anything. I think that's what we got to remember. No one owes anyone anything. And there's a quote by Bon Jovi always made me laugh, you know. He never wanted to sort of be heavy metal. He could have been, and, you know, he got called poser and stuff like that, and, you know, because he's kind of, you know, like a wet rock, I guess some people would call it. It's that kind of, you know, it's not like a really full-on hard rock vibe. It's kind of, you know, commercial, you know, appealing to kind of the female fans, I guess, kind of vibe. But he said, you know, in an interview, something along the lines of he'd rather see a load of beautiful women in the audience than a load of sweaty, hairy, heavy metal men. And I think, well, yeah, he's got a point, you know. So, you know, really, even for those who we will, you know, sloppily throw around the phrase of being a sellout or a poser, really, they just did something smart. They knew where their audience was, or they knew what audience they wanted to appeal to, or they just weren't afraid to experiment and try different things. And, you know, I think that is the secret of a good artist. But, you know, other people may say, oh, they're a poser, they're whatever. But, you know, it's funny. You know, I mean, that's the first time I've been called a poser, I think. And it's quite laughable, like I say. But, yeah, you're always going to get your haters. And, you know, the one thing I've always thought is, you know, if I didn't ask for an opinion, I don't need it, you know. I'm my own worst critic, like a lot of artists. You know, occasionally you'll get some constructive criticism, but a lot of the time you'll just get toxic people or people who flippantly make comments without really thinking. And like I say, if you're getting your music for free, I don't think you got any right to dictate. You know, if there's someone I knew had booked a load of cameos off me or whatever else I do, you know, all us musicians do these different things to, you know, make a buck, because you've got to kind of broaden your horizons now with social media and the internet. It's a different world, so you join all these different platforms and stuff, you know. Unless it's someone who's booked me a ton of times and has given me some feedback, you know, then who cares? Do you know what I mean? Who are these people? So I think it's important to just stay true to yourself, do what you always want to do. That's what I'm always going to do. I'm always going to do what I want to do. The last thing I'm ever thinking is, oh, I wonder if people will like this. It's like, I kind of do it from my feeling. Whatever I'm feeling, I'm going to put down on paper, I'm going to do it. You know, or if I'm trying to tell something, how I'm feeling about something, certain issues in the world, or just my inner feelings. And it's a subconscious thing, often songwriting. You just write what you want. Sometimes you might want to just write a catchy hit, which is kind of what I wanted to do with that Let Me Sleep Forever song, but then there is a lot deeper message to it. It's kind of, you know, it's quite a sad, gothic, depressing kind of song, really, about a more depressive mindset, which a lot of people can relate to, and I was just writing from experience at the time, you know. So yeah, it's quite funny how different people can interpret things, and, you know, someone who thinks it's a poser sellout, when it's actually probably, for me, it's probably the truest song I've ever released, because I wasn't trying to be anything different. I wasn't trying to just fit in a heavy metal bracket and make some heavy metal. I was trying to do something real and kind of true, you know. So yeah, I think it's just an interesting discussion, really, and maybe people should think twice. Maybe this is a message for anyone, you know, who's quick to comment on things, to think, you know, is this just my opinion? And obviously everyone's entitled to their opinion, but whether we should always just mouth off and voice it, I don't know if you should, really. It depends if it's, you know, there's really a point behind what you're saying. But you know, to me, if you're just kind of ignorant and small-minded, and you got that metal elitist mindset where you just expect the same thing over and over, I mean, what is the point in regurgitating the same kind of thing, you know? That's what I always think, you know. And people like Ozzy Osbourne, like I say, Dreamer, what is metal about that song? Let's get real, you know. Is it a metal song? No. Is it even rock? Barely. But it is Ozzy Osbourne, and he is the Prince of Darkness and a legendary heavy metal vocalist and frontman. So, you know, does it matter what you do? I think it's good to stay true and push your limits, and if you know you can do a certain style of music, I think you should, you know. But it's a whole different thing though. Being an actual musician and being a fan are two different things, you know. It's the mindsets are completely different. I think what people often expect from their bands, they don't really know where the bands are coming from. Often they have an instinctive reaction to whether they should like something. you know, or whether they're going to like something. Sometimes it's just a gut reaction. There isn't too much of a thought behind it. It's like the Judas Priest Nostradamus album. I loved it, masterpiece, you know, in my eyes. But a lot of fans hated it. I hear it all the time where people go, oh, I hate that album, you know. But it's a masterpiece. It's such a dramatic, operatic, heavy metal album, and a whole story. It's a concept album. It's like 2 hours of, you know, a real in-depth story and great dramatic, you know, performance by Judas Priest with, you know, all the dramatics, all the kind of sounds and stuff like that, you know. And I love it, but a lot of fans don't. So, and even KK, when I interviewed him, KK down in the, I remember him saying, you know, just because you love it doesn't mean the fans are going to love it necessarily, you know. But he did urge people to listen to that album more than Nostradamus album. If you're ever on a long car journey, he said, just stick it on and listen to it, and I promise you'll enjoy it, you know. And I agree, it's perfect driving song, perfect travel song. If you're on a plane even and you want to just zone out for a couple of hours, I think Nostradamus would totally do the trick. But yeah, that's enough talking, isn't it, guys? God, talking your ear off, aren't I? Sorry, guys. Let's get into some more heavy metal. And yeah, like I say, Sabbath Hour now, and Blacks and OZZY and Sabbath Hour. So let's crack on with a bit more OZZY. This is a favourite of mine now. Another one I'm going to be performing soon. So looking forward to this one. This is NIB. Listen to the geezer's bass on this one. Very cool. Be by Black Sabbath. Great song. Probably my favourite Black Sabbath song, although I love a lot of the songs off Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath as well. Spiral Architect, another favourite. But yeah, great. That bass, I love Geezer Butler's bass. Really out there, really kind of in the forefront, you know, which is really cool. Back to the beginning show, obviously, that was, you know, OZZY's final show. It was quite crazy, really, when we think about it now, you know, that he died 2 weeks after that show. Did such a great performance. And, it was amazing performance. You know, Mama, I'm Coming Home was a real highlight. I think everyone was emotional. There wasn't a dry eye in the house for that one. But he performed a whole set of Black Sabbath, 4 or 5 songs, I think, and also a set of OZZY songs with Zakk Wylde as well. And yeah, what a great way. I think, as Jack Osbourne says, it was kind of like his wake. But before he died, you know, he kind of had his wake, but he was there for it. You know, he got a chance to say goodbye to everyone. Yeah, OZZY really went out, the rock and roll hero we all wanted him to be, and he was, you know, and the rock and roll hero we admired. And, you know, right up to the end, he was loving performing. And he just wishes he could have stood up instead of sat down, but with his health problems, unfortunately, that was a no-no, you know. But he really enjoyed it, you could see. And I'm yet to see the documentary because I'm out in Mexico, but there's a documentary which I think has already come out now, showing OZZY's final days and moving back to England, which he seemed to really enjoy, being back in England. And they got a beautiful house with a big lake and things there. And I think OZZY was actually buried on the grounds there, which is very nice. But yeah, it's just sad just thinking of OZZY, you know, and that he's not here anymore. Just is sad to even talk about, really. Very sad. I'm just just lost for words, really, for, you know, how many icons, you know, Lemmy, of course, a few years ago, you know, we haven't got that many left now, you know, and it's these true icons, true rock stars, you know. I don't know if we've really got any true rock stars these days, and I think social media is a big part of that. Social media demyths a big part of the kind of mystique of a lot of these people, you know, because a lot of them, you know, didn't use social media, and especially back in the day, you just have your Kerrang magazine or whatever to kind of imagine what these people are like. And I think that mystique is what kept a lot of the magic there. But with the increasing technology, and now we got AI, everything's crazy, and I don't think we live in the same kind of world where people even look up to people as much as they did years ago. But for me, you know, and for many metal fans, we all know who the true rock stars were, you know, and people like, you know, OZZY, Lemmy, David Bowie, all come to mind as kind of legends, you know, and Prince, you know, Freddie Mercury, all kind of rock kind of legends, and just musical legends, frontmen that really had something different, you know, something inbuilt in their DNA to be able to do what they do, you know. I don't know if that's still happening now. I think music is so kind of fragmented now that there's so much out there. People will enjoy a song but then move on, you know, and it's gone are the days where you really get into an artist. I think the last sort of generation of that was maybe the kind of emo-ish bands, which have still kind of stuck with people, because phones, I guess, weren't such a big thing when these bands come out, like Sleeping with Sirens, Pierce the Veil. I don't even know, I don't listen to any of that, but you know, Sleeping with Sirens I don't mind because he's got a high voice. I like some of the stuff, but I've never listened to that properly, you know. Any of that kind of emo stuff, Trivium and all that, I don't know much about, but I know that you know, those kind of bands and Black Veil Brides, all that was kind of still kind of looked at in a way of admiration. But this day and age, like right now, I can't think of many. I know Youngblood's kind of popping up on the scene, which I don't know if I'm into or not, really. And Justin Hawkins of The Darkness has kind of talked his dislike towards him quite a lot lately. But, you know, I don't know what I think, really. I think, you know, he's doing his thing. It's not as metal, I think, as, they're trying to kind of make it, you know, and with the Aussie connection, I guess a lot of metal fans would be expecting a lot more from him with his own songs. But yeah, who knows, in the future it may be a lot more metal and rock. But it's kind of hard these days to know who's a product and who isn't, and a lot of them can seem convincing, but a lot of them are under that same kind of commercial bracket of just doing whatever they're told to do, or hitting certain targets, doing certain things to appeal to certain audiences. You know, the authenticity is hard to judge these days, and I guess that's why people like Youngblood, some people will critique him, like Justin Hawkins, because there's something off, there's something unauthentic, sort of underlying, perhaps. But I think that's also the way music has went these days, where it's hard to really know who's the real deal. You know, and maybe the old school metal is old fashioned now, so maybe that's not what people need to do. Even if there are real rock stars these days, maybe they're not going to be like the Stones and, you know, doing stuff, Aerosmith and all these bands. Maybe they're not going to be like that, you know. It's a different thing now, and yeah, like I say, it's a hard world to be a rock star. I think these days the best you can hope for is that some people like your music, and you know, you might make a few pennies off the streaming platforms, because that's pretty much all they pay. So yeah, it's a sad kind of world for musicians. I definitely recommend more people kind of go and download songs and buy merchandise and tour tickets and all this kind of stuff, whether they're expensive or not, because there's probably a reason they're expensive for the most part, and it's probably not all down to the artist, you know, but sometimes it does get silly with these big comeback bands and the prices of their tickets. If it's $1,000 or over, then I'd say, yeah, it's a bit excessive, you know, but, you know, if it's a couple of hundred, you know, I think that's kind of just the way things are now, and unfortunately it's the way with everything. Money rules all evil, whatever the saying goes, you know, it always comes down to money, unfortunately. And, you know, the music business has always been about that. So many bands have been screwed over in the past. Even these big bands we all know and love, who were the real rock stars, a lot of them didn't make a buck, you know, and were being ripped off a lot of the way, you know. Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy world. I'm just looking back at some metal news now to see if there's anything interesting going on. We've something with Billy Idol here. Billy Idol reflects on meeting guitarist Steve Stevens. He's a phenomenal guitar player as well. If anyone's seen him playing acoustic, unplugged stuff with Billy, and I think he did some kind of Spanish album as well. Fantastic. You just watch him playing Rebel Yell, White Wedding and stuff, acoustic. Amazing. He's one of my inspirations actually when I started playing guitar. I don't play a lot of guitar now, but that's where I started, and I used to play White Wedding and kind of watch how he did it and kind of try and replicate it. I could probably still do it just about. Yeah, he's got a lot of feeling. I love Steve Stevens' playing. But anyway, this story is quoting this now. Billy Idol reflects on meeting guitarist Steve Stevens. Once I saw what he could do, I knew anything I wanted to do, I could do it. Well, that's interesting, because, that's one thing I think a lot of people don't realise. You can get fixated on a vocalist and a frontman, but often the band or the guitarist, you know, certain chemistry is what creates the magic. I mean, I'm lucky with a lot of my songs. I work with a lot of different people, but I got two main collaborators. Carmine, who's based in Vegas, he's just a metal guitarist guy. He contacted me on social media once, you know, a good few years ago now, just saying he'd want to collab or something like that, you know, and I was like, yeah, definitely, you know, anything you can come up with, I'd love to write to, and, you know, I'll throw a few ideas. Usually I might say, I'll go for this kind of vibe or whatever, and he always comes up with some great metal songs. We've done like Burn the Priest is a song which is really heavy, The King of Hearts, Alien Invasion. We're working on a few things at the moment. We did a song recently, Whiplash, which is quite an old school vibe. Free, that's quite a good classic rock song. He's kind of he's my go-to kind of metal guitarist, you know. And yeah, he kind of brings out a lot of cool energy in me and kind of creativity, and that chemistry is great. And you can see Steve Stevens got that with Billy Idol, and Billy's got that with Steven, you know. It can really create magic. And obviously another collaborator I work with, Sophia, who I had on the station here, Metal Stream Radio, like a week or two ago for one of my shows. I was chatting with her. She does her own stuff with this group, Exiled Hope is her own band, and also Forgotten Shrine. She's great. She's collaborated with me a lot and composed music, like my song Mexico, which featured John of Bronx Beat, who we were listening to earlier. and she's done a lot of different songs with me. Web of Lies, Perfect Misery. What else have we done? A ton of songs, some synth pop kind of stuff. Toxic something, I can't remember half the titles I come up with for my songs. I've done so many, but yeah, she's very versatile. She can kind of do my kind of more synth pop stuff and rock stuff and acoustic gothic stuff, but also black metal. She's big on black metal. Her own stuff is like symphonic black metal for the most part. So yeah, she's very versatile, very creative, got a great chemistry with her and Carmine, so I've been lucky. I can totally relate to what Billy's saying there, and yeah, it's great that you know, like he says, once I saw what he could do, I knew anything I wanted to do, I could do it. I mean, isn't that a great thing, you know? It's sometimes that's all it takes to think, right, you know, that's kind of how I feel, you know, when I know someone can kind of come up with what I'm trying to say and record some great music, and, you know, I can work with great guitarists and things, you know, that really does open the door for you to kind of come up with something really unique. I think The King of Hearts, one of my most proud songs with Carmine, that really represents that. When I heard that piece of music he composed for me, I was like, wow, that's, you know, I can do something good with this, and I believe I did, you know. And yeah, you can see how that would work with many artists, you know. There's a lot can be said for that chemistry and collaboration, you know, collaborating with different people. Here's another news story. Biohazard's Danny Schuler, something like that. We put all our energy and effort into the show. Well, that's not much of a story, that, but there you go. He puts a lot of energy into his show. Spineshank, I've never heard of them. Spineshank wants to release new single, first to test the waters. If we want to keep going, we probably should put some new music out. Well, there you go. I don't know who you are, Spineshank, but I agree. Got to keep it relevant. You're only as good as your last release, as a lot of people often say. Now we've got Mark Porter McKnight. Atreo intentionally didn't listen to any music from last 10 years while writing latest single Dead. Yeah, that I've heard that before. A lot of people who write songs, they don't listen to music, any music by anyone, because they don't want to kind of get influenced. They're trying to come up with something completely unique, you know, and real, and kind of authentic, I guess, to what they're trying to say. It is easy when you hear a lot of music and stuff, you can pick up things without even noticing, you know. So yeah, props to them for that. I think that's the best way. But 10 years, didn't listen to any music intentionally for 10 years. Imagine that. That's crazy. That's a long time, you know. And I've heard other artists say, I don't know how people take so long to release an album. I think it's Boy George, he said, these people who say they take like 10 years to do an album, he's like, I don't know how they do that. You know, he said I can knock out an album in a week or whatever, which I'm a bit like that, yeah. I don't think I could ever string out an album for that long. We've also got news here. Glenn Hughes, amazing voice he's got, announces the Chosen Years Spring 2026 US tour. So any US fans, there you go, very cool. There's also a video of Gene Simmons officiates wedding of Charlie Benette and Carla Harvey in Las Vegas. Well, that's very nice of him. I think that's that guy from Anthrax, isn't it, that is getting married there. I wonder how much he charged for that, old Gene. Mott Bryan, this is another story. Mott Bryan says new Hatebreed material will be way thrashier and more Slayer-esque. Well, that's cool. Can't go wrong with a bit of a Slayer vibe. Drummer Jimmy Danda rejoins Bullet Boys. Guitarist Mick Swader has no desire to return. Wolfgang Van Halen on Van Halen's A Different Kind of Truth. The fact that that record happened at all is a miracle. That's what Wolfgang's there saying about A Different Kind of Truth. So yeah, lots of cool stories to check out. Ex-Typo Negative guitarist Kenny Hickey confirms there have been talks about staging Peter Steele tribute concert. It's nice when they do these tributes, although sometimes they hit or miss, and I'm not sure what I think about this whole hologram thing. Not that that's what they're doing, but you know, you hear of these like ABBA hologram tours, and I think even Kiss, you know, they were kind of interested in that, a way of them living on forever. I kind of get it if they're all dead, I guess, but if they're still alive, it's a bit weird. And also holograms are weird. Full stop, aren't they? I don't know. The world is getting very strange with AI as well. very odd, you know, and even AI being able to imitate people so perfectly, and, you know, you're not going to know what's real in the future. You know, there'll be songs and videos and everything where people think is real, you don't know if it's real. I think it's going to hugely change society in the future, just not knowing what the future holds, you know. And here we go, here's a cool story. Before we play some more music, original AC/DC singer Dave Evans reforms Rabbit for 50th anniversary and album. Dave Evans, of course, he's, I'm guessing he's Australian. I've been following him for a while because I kind of recently realised they had a singer before Bon Scott, but he didn't really do a whole lot with them. But there is a video of him performing with AC/DC, different kind of vibe. Yeah, very kind of rocky, kind of rock and roll vibes. You know, I think Bon definitely took it in a whole different direction. And then, of course, Brian in another direction again. So AC/DC, they've had a lot of sounds, a lot of kind of different people. But Dave Evans seems to be touring a lot. He's in Mexico a lot, I've noticed, where I am right now. And yeah, he has quite a big audience, even though he was kind of really early AC/DC. He wasn't on any albums, I don't believe. But he's still got quite a following, and yeah, I think he's probably worth checking out to see what he's up to, because yeah, it's probably decent. And yeah, that's it, I think, for the news. There's one other, Joey Belladonna, which is amazing vocalist of Anthrax, Jerry Cantrell, Dean Castronova, among guests at Sammy Hagar's 25th birthday bash. So there you go. It looks like they've done some kind of show. But anyway, let's get into a bit more OZZY or Sabbath, shall we? We'll go, as I was talking about a minute ago, let's listen to the beautiful Mama, I'm Coming Home, because it's a great, great ballad by OZZY. Enjoy, guys. This is Ozzy Osbourne with Mama, I'm Coming Home.
Changed and times are strange. Here I come, but I ain't the same. Mama, I'm coming home. Time's gone by, it seems to be. You could have been a better friend to me. Mama, I'm coming home. You took me in and you drove me out, yeah, you had me hypnotized, yeah. Lost and found and turned around by the fire in your eyes. You made me cry, you told me lies, but I can't stand to say goodbye. Mama, I'm coming home. I could be right, I could be wrong. It hurts so bad, it's been so long. Mama, I'm coming home. Selfish love, yeah, we're both alone. Right before the fall, yeah. But I'm gonna take this heart of stone. I just got to have it all. I've seen your face 100 times. Every day
beautiful song, Mama, I'm Coming Home. Can't help but think of Ozzy's last performance of that when you hear it. Yeah, heartbreaking, really. Yeah, just sad. But so glad he got the opportunity to do it. Yeah, we miss you, Ozzy. I'm sure he's still there looking down. He still feels like he's around, you know. He's, he's such a kind of colourful figure in all our lives, you know. He was someone who was truly unique. There's not many people you can say that. I remember watching the show with Jack and Ozzy's Detours back when Ozzy died. I had a period of watching all that series, and yeah, it was great to see Ozzy kind of being real and kind of travelling and showing his love for history, kind of a different side to Ozzy. And he even went to Glastonbury tour and got knighted by a kind of crazy guy who believed he was the king or something. It was a pretty crazy story. It was pretty funny, but yeah, it was great. And yeah, cool. Imagine seeing Ozzy in Glastonbury. That would have been a pretty surreal experience. God, I wish these things would happen sometimes, don't you? Where you're just in the right place at the right time. I mean, I have been lucky. I've met a lot of rock and roll people. Most of my heroes I've met. All of Judas Priest and Zach Wild I've met. Joey Belladonna, Dee Snider, Scotty, and KK Downing, of course. Most of Alice Cooper's band. I've met a lot of cool people. But yeah, it would be cool sometimes just to bump into one of these people when you're not expecting it. That would be pretty damn cool. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have had cool experiences meeting different rock stars. But yeah, but another thing I was thinking about while I was listening to that is I got to sing that. I was thinking, God, can I do it? I got to really gem up on that. It's quite you think you kind of know a song, but then when it comes to singing it, you've really got to think about it. And Ozzy's one of those people, he's got so many melodies and subtle melody changes that, you've really got to get to know it, where it's going to kind of go up a level or down a level, So yeah, I'm going to get practicing quite intensely soon, I think, for this show. But it's going to be fun. Nothing beats a Mexican audience. I'm very excited. Great heavy metal bar over here. So yeah, it's going to be fun. And we're on our last half hour or 20 minutes or so of the show, so I'm going to get some more music in now. Less talking, more music, so that's what we want to hear now. So yeah, as it's an Ozzy special at the moment, we're going to get some more Ozzy. I'm going to give you way too much Ozzy, but you can never get enough, so here we go with some more Ozzy.
There are no unlockable doors. There are no unwinnable wars. There are no unrightable wrongs or unsinkable songs. There are no unbeatable odds. There are no believable gods. There are no unnameable names. Shall I say it again? Yeah. There are no impossible dreams. There are no invisible scenes. Each night when the day is through, I don't ask much, I just want you. I just want you. There are no uncriminal crimes. There are no unrunnable rhymes. There are no getting tired. I used to go to bed so high and wired. Yeah, 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 yeah. I think I'll buy myself some plastic water. I guess I should have married Lennon's daughter. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Great song there, I Just Want You by Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, another song I gotta sing. Not as familiar with that one. I know a lot of Ozzy stuff, but yeah, the Osmosis album I didn't ever listen to that much. So yeah, that's one I'm getting to know for my gig. Like I say, I you know, I'm more comfortable singing stuff like Judas Priest and, you know, screamy kind of high vocal stuff. You know, but Ozzy is great. I'm glad to have the opportunity to do it. But yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, but you know, when you're asked to do these things, you know, you can't say no. I'm very honoured to pay tribute to Ozzy. So yeah, great song. I hope you've enjoyed these Ozzy songs. We'll have some more for you in a bit, but I thought I'd change it up a bit now and I have a bit of Merciful Fate, obviously that great voice of King Diamond, but this is the Merciful Fate stuff, and yeah, great band, and yeah, they're still doing cool stuff to this day. So yeah, let's hear a bit of Come to the Sabbath.
Go
Come to the Sabbath. Bit of Merciful Fate there. Love that high voice, very unique high voice, kind of, obviously a known kind of falsetto kind of voice, but it's so kind of powerful and haunting. And yeah, I love King's voice. It's just so haunting, and so powerful and unique, I love his own stuff with King Diamond, and the Merciful Fate stuff's great. Great band with Merciful Fate and King, always work with great musicians. I love that jazzy kind of guitar playing around the end of that song. Really, really cool stuff. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that, guys. We're coming to an end now of the Metal Matt Show, but don't worry, I'll be back very soon, Saturday and Fridays. So yeah, check out my social media. Don't forget, I'll always put out the times that my show is going to be on. Put it up on my social media, so yeah, be sure to tune in. You'll get to know the times, and yeah, I'm here every week to give you your weekly dose of heavy metal, and yeah, just chat heavy metal, some interview clips sometimes, and some great songs. Lots of great songs every week, and yeah, keeping the heavy metal alive, keeping the metal flag flying, and yeah. It's for everyone all around the world. That's a great thing with Metal Stream Radio, being online, everyone can hear it, and it's a great to get the metal community all together. So yeah, with no further ado, let's do a bit of Painkiller!
Faster than a
And yeah, what a song. Magnificent. True heavy metal song. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. It's the end of the show, but I'm here every week. So be sure to tune in every Friday and Saturday for more heavy metal. And don't worry, you don't think I just leave you like that. Of course I'm going to leave you with some more Ozzy Osbourne. Just to say farewell till next time. Hasta luego. See you later. See you next time. And yeah, thanks for listening. Hope you've enjoyed. Cheers, guys. Time for a bit of How Back at the Moon.
The